Okay, I am gonna. Oh right, Hi, I'm Anavrin, and I'm gonna do a follow-up commentary casting of a game I actually played on ladder. Let's take that off of player perspective. Actually, let's keep it on player camera. Um, actually, I don't know. I'll just put it on later when I feel it's necessary. It's a follow. It's a ZvZ, and it's actually against a real person this time because I think that I should follow up on the last video, which was a fucking 30-minute lecture that, believe it or not, I think one or two people actually got through it. I personally had to watch it because I had to review it before uploading it, but dude, my voice is fucking boring as fuck. It's either that I sound like a really fucking whiny bitch if I'm like really enthusiastic, but if I'm not, then I sound like a monotone faggot, which is what I sound like now. So in this game, I'm just boring you with filler because there's nothing happening so far. But in this game, I do my standard 15 pool, 15 hatch, 16 gas. But I go up against an early pool, and as you can see, he did like an early like 9 pool or some shit. I don't know what the fuck build this is. Probably some 9 pool, and he did an early 3 lings against some guy called Zal. But I don't actually see this because you shouldn't drone scout or anything, so I don't drone scout, and I didn't say to drone scout, and no one drone scouts in ZvZ except like scrubs who don't know how to not drone scout, how to live without drone scouting. So it's okay because in Ohana it's a 2-player map, and your overlord takes a relatively quick path, and I do see these 6 lings coming out. I actually didn't see all 6 because I was like tired as fuck and I'm stupid and I'm retarded. So, but I do see the 6 things come out, and I'm like, oh shit, is this all in? Because I checked for a spine crawler. As you saw that, I had a drone there, and I see, oh, it's a hatch. It's just an early pool, and he's still rallying 2 more lings out. So that's at least like a bunch of lings, at least like 8 lings, because there's a 6 here. And so immediately I pull my drones. It's very important never to lose your drones. And since I'm gonna pause right here. Since this is like an early pool, but not like a 6 pool all in where they just start building spines and shit, I decided to let my hatch stay here. I didn't cancel it because he's getting his hatch, and if I canceled my hatch, I would be ahead in drones for now, but I would be behind in like larva later. Because chances are, if they're getting a later hatch with an early pool, they're going to go for macro, obviously, unless they cancel it. But that'd be pretty stupid if they canceled it, because I could see that they canceled it. So if they go for a macro game with it, then they... Oh shit, fucking Lego, man. I'll respond to him later. Then you can fucking see... Then they're probably going to queen, because they're going for a macro game, and they don't want to go stay behind in production. So I let my hatch stay here, and they just attack me with lings. He's just trying to micro his lings, and I can still see if he's rallying any lings out, right? Because before I said you should always keep an eye on your overlord. Even though you're occupied with this, you should always keep an eye to see how many lings they reinforce, and then you make less. So I decide to leave my hatch here, and since I spawned in this position, if I spawned in this position and my queen popped out under my hatchery, and it would be surrounded by my drones to be safeguard. But I knew that since I was up here, and it's going to be pretty unlucky for me if my queen gets caught or something like that. So I leave my hatch, and I immediately cancel my gas, because this last time I said I'm not going to be mining gas. I'm going to be doing these cutesy trick things with my drone, and each time I do it, I'm not going to keep mining in gas efficiently. And if I don't mine gas efficiently, I'm not going to get ling speed up anytime soon. So why waste the drone and the 25 minerals on the geyser and the 3 more drones mining it if I'm not going to successfully mine 100 for ling speed. So this goes on, and I do some drone stuff here. He doesn't want to get caught out like this, so it's very important not to get your drone stuck. So a cute trick is if there is to always go up here, because look, say they have their lings here, right? And then they come out here, and your drones are pulled up here. and when they try to keep attacking you, then you can mineral stack to your natural, so that your drones don't have any. They have the phasing movement where they don't collide with your other drones. But if you pull it here, then you can do the same, but some drones might go up and some drones might go down depending on their position, whereas all drones would go up here to the here instead of some here and some down there. And so I pull my queen immediately with my drones. And it's not really like hard micro, you just box everything, right? Because these tutorial commentaries are for scrubs like myself and not for good people. So I immediately pull up here. And my primary concern is not to lose anything. Not only not to lose anything, but not to lose too much mining time. I want to mine as soon as possible. Even if my opponent has less drones than me, which he has, he's still mining. And I'm still mining 1/5 of his, because I'm not mining at all. But it's just residual stuff. So he attacks me. Honestly, he just gets a lane, because I'm bad. And I'm still keeping my eye on here. And he actually goes for attacking me and he just gets completely butt-fuck surrounded. And that's just because if he backs off with lings, then it's like I have more drones and you have less drones and a bit of lings, then you're going to be mining less than me because those lings aren't going to do jack shit, whereas my drones are all alive and I'm still mining. So he just goes for it and attacks my drones. Since I have a queen and a bunch of drones and like one zergling, I think, I'm going to be having less, I'm going to take the better efficient trade. And I have 4 lings come out here. And units lost tab shows that. I pulled some drones here just to like re-aggro. It's just so the drones that were getting attacked hopefully won't get attacked again. And he ends up killing off 2 drones in total. And I take the better trade by a bit. I know that I might at least be even, if not ahead, but I'm pretty sure I was ahead by like a drone or 2, but nothing significant. And I'm actually like even with him, which is kind of bad. But I do have 4 lings, and chances are he doesn't have any lings at all because he's making nothing but drones. And I still see that he didn't rally any lings outside. So this game goes on, and my primary concern right now is if my opponent went ling speed early gas or not. Because if he was going to like have this hatchery and just like he makes drones and he stops at like 20 drones and goes like massling speedling and uses the larva from this hatch to attack me, then I need to know how I can defend it, because I didn't take that gas, so I didn't try to get the ling speed out, or I won't have banes in time or anything. So I'm actually like during this game I'm debating whether or not to have my spine crawl, and since I see this queen I immediately pull to the left. You'll notice that when I was scouting this hatch before it was finished building, I had my overlord to the left of the hatchery, because if a queen came down and it was to the right, then my overlord might die from the queen shots, or probably will die. So knowing that he doesn't have lings, I sent my 4 lings to go for scouting and trying to get 1 or 2 drones like he did with me. So I see that he has gas, and I see that he mined only 25 gas. So I'm like, okay, ling speed and an all-in's not going to come out yet. I can still have time to drone and shit. So I do start droning. And I didn't just go for this weak drone because he was still coming after me. So I pulled back because, again, I'm doing what he did with me, and that's losing mining time. As you can see, he's significantly behind because these drones weren't mining. These 8 drones weren't mining. And again, another few drones. And that's honestly more of a reward than me just going in the 4 lings and hitting a drone, because he lost a lot more mining time and a lot more minerals than me. And I saw that he had 2 queens out and queen there, but I'm pretty sure it was just his natural queen coming up to help him. Yep. So the game goes on, and I'm pretty sure I'm at least even, or at least 2 drones ahead. So I do get my gas now, knowing that I need it, and I get actually a spine crawler because I just had the money for it. I got it before, I started it before my second queen came out to inject, so I knew that I had the money for it, and I could definitely spend all my larva and get the spine, just so I don't have to make any more like lings or any defense or whatever. And if there was ever going to be like 6 lings coming at me, then I won't lose a drone or two, or I'll lose less because I have a spine poking away at whatever. And that's just a good defensive measure. And right now I don't know the harvester tab, even though it shows on the replay, and I'm just making drones right now. And I know that I'm going to have enough time to make a Bane nest too. So unlike a normal game, I'm actually really a lot of, like, in a normal game, the time I take my second gas would be much before getting 2 base saturation on minerals, which is what I have here. But since this is a really weird game and I was forced to get more minerals first to stay ahead, then I got a relatively later gas. And that means I'll have much more minerals than I would have in a normal game because I was forced to mine minerals longer before taking gas. So I throw down an Evo chamber. I normally wouldn't throw down an Evo chamber at the same time with my Bane nest, but I do have an excess of minerals. And again, I just did the Sim City where I had a Bane nest here and Evo chamber here. Lings can still go through and out of here. I'm pretty sure roaches still can go through or out of there. If it can't, then my roaches will go around and it's really inefficient. But at least this is a really nice wall, so I don't get butt fucked by lings. So now I have to scout again because I know that his link speed is going to be earlier than mine because his gas was earlier than mine. So I'm scouting him, and I always come around this way because I don't know if I said it in the last one, but if you go straight in and there's a spine and there's a queen, it's gonna like kill your ling before you see jack shit. And you won't see the mineral saturation. So I see this, and I see 2 gases being taken, and a bunch of drones. It's really hard to assume things like going, oh my god, he's going really far tech. He's just getting 2 gases. But if he cancels these 2 gases and goes for like a hardcore roach shove, then you're completely butt fucked without knowing jack shit. So I try to keep my eye on this, and I see 4 lings come out here, and I see a bunch more lings. So I'm like, oh shit. Did he really just cancel these gases? He does have a creep tumor, so he might have an extra queen, or he might be bad with injects, or, you know, he cut and inject a bit short. So I'm still making drones, or I just finished making drones, and I throw out my roach one because I'm scared. Like, could I cut this corner of not having a roach one? What happens if he did cancel these 2? Then I'm completely butt fucked again. And then I see his lings go here, checking for a third probably. And or morphing banelings, but if he was morphing banelings, then it would take a long time, and I would have defensive units out to stop it already. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't Banes, and he comes in to attack me. He picks off like 1 or 2 drones, I think, and in total he killed like 5 drones. And since I have a spine, again, he's not going to take off a lot of drones. He's just going to get 1 or 2. So I have really high money, so I'm like, I can't really take a third because I don't have the unit support. So I'm going to try to mine as much gas possible, get layer, and try to like get upgrades and shit, and get a macro hatchery. Because if I didn't have this macro hatchery, I'd be around 800 minerals. And so I take another gas. I'm like, okay, I got to keep this mineral count down. This is fully saturated. This is fully saturated. And you see that? Since I'm grabbing this gas and this is more than saturated, more than 16, I actually pull 3 drones from my main mineral line because it's still oversaturated to saturate my natural gas. So that's pretty cool. And I see that he has a drone come taking a third. It's one of the reasons I actually decided to cast this game, because I was looking around a lot and usually I would miss 1 or 2 things that I didn't see already. So I'm like, okay, his 2 gases were earlier than mine, so I think I'm going to do a big roach attack since my third is much more delayed, and I have earlier saturation than he does, I think, because of the earlier shit that happened in this game. So I'm like, okay, this hatch can be delayed. His hatch is going to be earlier than mine, and my hatch can be delayed. Does that mean like he has an economic advantage? No, because I'm still saturated on 2 base. I'm still mining from all 4 geysers. He's not mining from his third. So I'm making nothing but units, and when I attack, he can't be making drones. So he can't be saturating the third base. He has to defend. So I know that I won't be behind economically. But I still make a hatch here. And funny thing was, I wanted to attack as soon as possible, but because I didn't want him to make ample defenses, I come in here with the changeling to scout because I'm like, okay, early 2 gases, I didn't see a roach horn, I didn't see anything. I could have maybe sent a speedling to scout earlier, but if it was denied, then I couldn't see anything either. So I made an overseer as soon as my lair finished, and I was like, okay, I need to know if it's spire, because I was thinking it's spire. That's why I got, that's why I, made it. No, I was thinking it's spire, that's why I made a quick overseer to scout. My English got fucked up. But I see this quick infestation pit, and then this is like the second, like, follow-up scouting guessing thing that I had. I'd be like, if it was this, keeps getting fucked up. Okay, if I attack him now, then he won't be able to saturate his third, okay? So if I attack him now, he won't be able to saturate his third base with drones, because he has to make units to defend. If I attack him now, he won't be able to make infestors, because if he makes infestors, he won't be able to defend my attack. So he has to make roaches or other gas units, because I'm making a roach bane attack. So he won't be able to make infestors. So it doesn't matter if he has an infestation pit or pathogen glands, he won't be able to make many infestors. Holy shit, my English is just getting fucked up when I try to talk really quickly. Oh shit. I'm like Idra, where like Idra, like in his interviews, he just like talks really fucking fast and it's like zero emotion. That's how I feel right now. So I scout this. I'm like, okay, I gotta go now since I gotta go. And I leave behind 3 roaches because I need something to defend my third. I had 2 lings somewhere, but apparently to make banelings, but I don't know where the fuck they went. I think they went with my main attack. And I make banes because I don't want him to make pure ling to defend my roach attack and then have all the gas left for infestors. Although that can only work if he has spine crawlers too, but I didn't want him to, like, you know, somehow get some bullshit up. So I see his defense and I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of roaches. He made them later than me, but it's still a lot of roaches. And I'm already morphing Banes. I could cancel my Banes and just don't attack and head home. But I felt that I somehow could take this fight because I thought I had +1, but actually it's done in 12 seconds. I really should have waited. So right after this aggression, I started droning. I'm not all in with this at all. And I do have roach speed in like 2 seconds, 4 seconds. So I decided to attack this mainly because there's a spine here. So if worst comes to worst, I can just kill the spine with Banes. But that's a stupid thought. So I go for the biggest clump I see here, and he has to split. So when he splits, his roaches aren't attacking me, and he has a relatively good conclave otherwise. And I know that I have roach speed, so I can retreat. It was really important that I timed it with roach speed. I thought I timed it with both +1 and roach speed, which makes the fight go a bit differently, but it doesn't matter now. And I think he has roach speed too, yep. So I just decide to back off because I know that I can't fight here and I can't do anything. He comes in and my 3 roaches are here to defend the 6-lane counterattack, which is quite effective. And I'm getting infestation pit on my own because I know he has infestors, so I don't really want to be behind. And I see a couple of roaches, so I decide to make a couple more roaches. And I do have defender's advantage, as I talked about last commentary thing. So I make 4 more roaches in case his stuff overpowers me. And I do engage here because I know that our roaches are... my roach numbers is quite enough. And the weird part was he had some more roaches back there. So I was like, what? So the funny thing was, after I defended that, I was like, okay, I'm safe. I only see these amount of roaches. It's not going to kill me. And then I just make 21 drones. And I need to make infestors too. Now my upgrade is ahead of his. And I know that because when I scouted, he didn't have an Evo chamber from before. And I had one as part of my wall. So I knew that my upgrade was a bit ahead. If he had 2 Evo chambers, then it would be completely different. But that's just something worth noting. And since I produce a bunch of drones, I'm like severely ahead of him in drones. I'm actually overproduced drones. I thought all I made was this much. And that would be completely fine, because that's wall-based saturation, and I'm mining the gas. Wall-based saturation here. and full base saturation here, and I have a relatively early macro hatch. Whereas he, but then I have like a shit ton of drones here, so I'm like, oh fuck, this is kind of weird. So I started making a bunch of spine crawlers because I had a lot of minerals because I was trying to make infestors anyways. So it's kind of awkward to make both, make a bunch of drones and then a bunch of infestors without making spines, because I'll just have a shit ton of minerals. Even with making all this crap and this hatchery, my gas is still relatively even with my minerals, which is kind of insane. But that's to be expected in ZvZ. In ZvZ, you should always when you're in this sort of situation, you should always make more mineral stuff when you're going for infestors. Mutas is a bit different because mutas cost 100 minerals, 100 gas, whereas infestors cost 100 minerals, 150 gas. And when you're making mutas, you still float a bunch of minerals. So it's like even more important that you make more mineral-based items. And I made a bunch of spines because I wanted to defend this base by pooping creep and then dropping moving my spines there. But that was just me thinking at a later stage. And he moves all his roaches here, and since he doesn't have hydras or anything, I don't have to get Overlord speed yet. I might be getting it now. Yeah, I might be getting it now, because if he has hydras in this coming time, after he stops producing infestors, then he can kill my Overlords, and I won't be able to scout him. But I saw his roach upgrades there, and I can see his queen upgrade too, which is 1-0. And I'm kind of happy right now because I'm also 1-0. Yep. So he attacks me with run roach here, and it's really important that every time it's possible, try to send not your entire army to defend something. Like, very easily I could have just sent my entire army here just to kill that roach anyways, but if there's like a big fucking ling attack, or even if there wasn't a big ling attack or some counter attack, then my army would be completely out of position. But so just always, if you have vision, just don't send your entire army somewhere, because it's just a bad habit and it makes your mind sort of fall asleep, which mine does very, very often. And I see that there's a rig roach here, and I see that his army's moving out at 1-0, and I know that I'm 2-0, so I'm like, okay, I'm not scared to engage this at all. And I did have a small lead at the beginning of the game. That's why my supply is higher than his. I maxed out, he's not. But the problem is that I actually made a fucking full retard mistake. He was gonna send this counterattack. I saw this here, and he's gonna send his main army here. And the problem was that I didn't allocate enough roaches or infestors in time for defense. I thought my spines were rooted, but they weren't, to buy me some time. That's my mistake. I really should have like 1 or 2 infestors to lock this army in place, to make this army committed, and have like these roaches here, and that should be enough to defend this, or buy enough time so I could get more roaches here and kill off this force and take a massive, if not a game-winning lead. But instead, I actually go full retard, and these swines root a bit too late, and I didn't have an infestor or 2 to lock this down, and I sent too much to deal with this shitty counterattack. And as a result, he gets a better concave, and he has more roaches here than I do. And most of my supply, even though I'm a lot more supply than him, are actually like at my bases, I think, or in transition. Yeah, they're in transition. And the drone count is still the same, but I don't really know that. Obviously, I assume that he has the same drone count as me, and since that mistake just cost me like my base, and his base is whatever, so I'm like, okay, I fucked up, now I have to try to make something happen. So I go after him after I max out, which is this coming time, and I know that I'm 2-0 and he's 1-0 right now. I checked it, but then I guess he got 2-0 like now, I guess, and he's making 10 hydras. I didn't know this at all because I didn't scout. I planned this in conjunction with contaminating the hatchery or whatever, because if you ever scout with an overseer, don't keep fucking pooping changelings. I only pooped 1 because I didn't want him to know that he scouted me, that I scouted him if he didn't see the changeling. But don't like keep pooping changelings. Just the contaminator's a really good ability. It's more worth than a couple changelings. So knowing that he has infestors out, and I have my overlord for vision, very important. I clumped up all my roaches there, but I backed as soon as I saw the infestors come out. And due to the recent cast ranger fungal, I was pretty safe. And my roaches somehow here derped, and I got caught out a bit for it. And I saw that I have pretty much a lot of vision over the entire fight. But what I should do is, I'm pretty much committed because he caught some of my roaches, and this is actually looking pretty bad for me. But this flank should help me hit his flank here while I have my infestors, which are still in position to fungal this army here. Like one fungal here, one fungal here, one fungal here. And what ends up happening is that I do start fungling his stuff, and my flank does overpower him quite a bit, and his hydras aren't completely in position yet, but I still take a rather bad fight. And knowing that I took a rather bad fight, and so I just started spewing a crap ton of infestors. I realized that I have 6 infestors here, and he only has like 2 here. I think he didn't burrow them, right? No, he didn't. Yeah, he only has 2 infestors here. I decided to back out as ASAP because he couldn't lock me in place anymore. So I just back out. And I leave my infested Terrans to sort of cover my retreat, but I come back to kill because I see some exposed Hydralisks. And Hydras die really, really quickly. And I'm like, alright, I'm somehow winning this fight. I was really surprised that I was winning this fight, but it's only because I had a higher supply than him in the beginning. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to make a big mistake if I keep pushing in, because he's just going to remax and kill off all these roaches, which are low health. So I decide to fight and then back off, because I know that I can regen all this health on these roaches. Like, these roaches are missing like hundreds of health, and I can heal hundreds of health. And I see that he isn't really mining his fourth. And if I attack and lose my entire force, I can't defend my fourth as well. So I think the damage is done here, and since he's not saturating his fourth because I put on pressure and he has to make units, I think I'm actually a bit ahead because I took a really good fight there. And as you can see in the units resources tab, I'm actually right. This is all thinking in the game. All the other stuff I didn't see was me just being blind, but I don't think I really need to know much other stuff. And I have my Hydras out now. And I regened all the health, and now I have a maxed army against him who isn't maxed. If he was maxed, then that would mean I have a bigger bank than him. I thought that he was maxed because he was able to be maxed when I was going to attack him anyways, because I had a huge bank already, so I just assumed that he was going to be maxed anyways. But I'm just trying to take map control instead of letting him do whatever he wants. And my map vision is like stellar at the moment. I can see that with my overlords, and I see that he doesn't have many overlords out, only 3, and that's because I have Hydras and they can kill all the overlords. He doesn't have overlord speed, and they can just deny all the vision, whereas he can't because he doesn't have map control. And that's what good Hydras are in a ZvZ, is that if you're aggressive and you have map control, you can really take all of it. But he still has a couple crucial overlords in the right spots. Like, his vision is like still pretty good. Imagine if I killed these overlords, then he would literally see nothing but his own base. So we're just gonna keep going and see what happens. I'm gonna speed it up because this is getting kind of a bit boring. I see his army here, and I can't really fight here because there is like a choke here and there's a choke here, and I don't really want to take a bad fight, but I actually do screw up and take a really bad fight. Right here, actually, I think. He has a really, really good concave right now, although he has very few units here. And I thought that I could have taken this because I have much more units than him, there's no question about that. But he remade infestors, and I'm just spawning up here because I have a bunch of bank. And this is like the worst bunching up, and this is why you don't really want to engage in a choke. He has like his ramp, from his ramp all the way over here, and he's just like destroying me. And I couldn't really get fungals off, I thought, so, and that I knew that as soon as I took this position it was going to be bad. So instead of trying to fungal and kill his stuff, I just tried to run by spewing a bunch of infested Terrans to cover me and tank damage. But obviously that didn't work as well as that can only work so well, so I had to back off, and he knows that these infested Terrans will give me the advantage. But apparently I wasn't watching and I was being stupid, so I didn't back off. Or I was getting overconfident or something. And I paid a lot for it. And I got my entire army pretty much killed. I left with a couple, and I left with my infested Terrans. That was weird. I really thought I backed off, but apparently I didn't. And this is what happens when you don't back off. You lose a bunch of units. And the game is pretty much, I thought for some reason that we were even at this point, because I took a bad fight and he took a bad fight. And that early game advantage from the early pool wasn't really, it's like negligible at this point. And I see that he has a small army and I have a small army. And his army, this army is just his army left over from the first fight. His Remax army is not even accounted for. Even though I look like I have like much more units than him, we're actually around the same in units, or I thought, because if it was an even game, then his reinforcements weren't be able to I couldn't count them. So as you can see, as soon as my attack got pulled back, I instantly lost like half the vision for the map, because I couldn't maintain my overlords. I had to pull them back. So this game goes on, and it's almost about to be over, as you can see in the replay time here. And I stayed on one Evo chamber. I don't know if yours is going to Evo chambers, but I stayed on one, and I'm still on relatively low money. And I'm actually 2-1, and I saw that he was actually 2-0 a bit later on, I think. Maybe he's getting his armor upgrade now, or yeah, whatever. I saw that his upgrades weren't 2 Evo chambers earlier on, so I didn't really have to do anything. And if I pushed the issue and attacked again and lost my entire army, then this 5th base would be completely killed off, and I'm ahead in bases, so there's no really big reason for me to attack. What I should do is just be maxed and then use my bank to go for hive, which I'm doing. And I'm lining up my hive up with my second upgrade, so as soon as my hive finishes, I can get my +3 started for attack. And again, he's pushing back my vision, which is good of him. I didn't see this roach come out, which was completely stupid, because his vision is now like a lot. Oh, I did see it. I thought I didn't see it for a long time, but then I saw it, so that was kind of weird. So it's really important if you ever go on Broodlords, even though if you don't want to mine the minerals, you should go straight for the gas immediately. I don't know, my drone count is pretty low, I think, because I've been spawning a lot. And it's still 63. I thought it'd be around like 50 something, but it's because I'm mining like from 6, 8, 10 geysers. Wait, did I just do that right? 10 geysers. So 10 geysers worth of drones is like, fuck! I'm bad at this. 30 drones. So I have 30 drones mining gas, 30 drones mining minerals. And I have a big bank, so it should be okay. And right now, I'm just trying to, oh, I didn't see that burrow. Actually. But I'm trying to keep my entire army, because he does have high ground, and I don't really have the vision right now. So it looks like he's trying to fungal on me. I didn't really see that from my vision. But I move in here, and I actually forgot the reason I moved in there, so I'll go back and try to get to that spot. So I see his armies here, and he moves back, and as soon as I saw him move back, I'm like, okay, it's time to move in. And even if he has defensive infestors and spines, I'm still not going to take maximum fungal damage, because my entire army is pre-split into a concave that I did. So I'm like, okay, it's time to go and get my army position, and his army is over here in the middle, because he might have thought that I was attacking the middle or something. So since his army's here, I'm like, okay, it's time to go and fight this guy. And so I have a pretty good concave right now, and I know that fungals and shits are about to happen. So I started, and my hydras are actually pretty exposed, because my roach ratio to my hydra ratio is actually pretty even. So I knew that I couldn't use all these energy if I just fungled. I would still have a lot of residual energy. So I just kept fungling and decided to shove a bunch of infested Terrans, which is the correct choice. And I moved back my units because I wanted my infested Terrans to tank instead of my roaches and shit. So right now I have the superior concave from this end of the base to this geyser, whereas I'm using his hatchery as a force field against him, because using Protoss strategies are always overpowered. Hugh. And I'm about to take this fight. I thought that it was gonna be an even game and he would have a lot more forces, but at this point I realized, oh, I was actually a lot more farther ahead than I thought I was. And that's really my mistake. Usually you would like to poop changelings in late game ZvZ to scout around, and if worst comes to worst, you can actually just send in a speed overlord that costs 100 minerals. And since it's late game, you're going to be floating a bunch of minerals anyway, which I was, to go in and sacrifice it to scout for his army size, his army composition, where his army is. But yeah, so I just sort of destroy him, and I back off. Because even though I knew the game was over, I backed off because these infested Terrans could kill this hatch, and he was going to be stuck on 3 base. And I was going to be on 5 base. And if I keep pushing and somehow lose my army to fungals or some sort of shit, then, or like broodlords somehow, if the situation called for it, then my bases would be in danger. But this game really showcases how important map control is in ZvZ, and that even though it looks like you're really far ahead or something, it can go really bad as soon as fights happen, because infestors can really screw up your entire army. As you can see here, and before, I thought I was super far ahead. Like in any other matchup, I would think that I've won the game already. But in ZvZ, since infestors matter so much and it's really easy to max out anyways, then oh fuck, I think that's my vent. Then it doesn't matter. So thanks for watching, and hope you didn't fall asleep. And if you did, then you probably can't hear me say this.